What is up, guys? Bermuda Championship week, and we're fresh off of an outright hit, our second winner in the last 5 weeks. Got to be excited. Amazing start to the season. Literally cannot ask for anything better. You tell me I hit two outrights in the first 5 weeks. That's where I want to be at 14 weeks into the season, based on how we set things up. So yeah, things are going good. And I'm excited to get back into it. This is a great field we have this week. This got to be the strongest field we're gonna have in the season. Like honestly, see all these top players in the world. I'm kidding. This is a horrible field, but it's gonna be fun. I love betting golf. It's fun every single week. Last week I went with a 3-man card. Went to the top of the leaderboard, grabbed Decky, paid for him, but it was worth it. Paid off. This week I am going with a 9-man card. Same 5-unit risk same as I do every week, but threw a lot of darts, placed a lot of small wagers to get a big return back. And yeah, I'm ready to get into it, break down the field, break down my bets. I will be using my model and using Rick's site to break down golfers. So yeah, let's get right into this. The first guy I bet this week is none other than, I'm going to see if you guys have ever heard of him, Mito Pereira. Have you guys ever heard of Mito Pereira? Yeah, well, Mito Pereira is the first guy I have bet this week. And let's dive into Mito, and let me tell you why I bet Mito Pereira. Well, Mito Pereira was the first in my model, as to no surprise. He's first off the tee in this field at Shriners and second in approach at Sanderson, which is two recent events. He's also the third ranked player in approach in this field in the last year, which is awesome. And look at these numbers for Mito. Tee to green 2, approach 2, putter is where he's been really shaky with the putter. And what I said last few weeks, I bet Mito, because these numbers change a lot. His putting splits, they change a lot because he has such a small sample size. And I talked about last week or whatever 2 weeks ago about how I like Mito because he was an X gainer on this surface. Well, that turned to be not true because he was a gainer in 2 rounds. So I'm going to totally twist that. Bermuda is his worst surface. So maybe he's going to put good on Bermuda because of the small sample size. It's been changing every other week. I like Mito, and there's not much to not like about Mito. He's the highest guy I grabbed this week. I can live if someone above him wins, which that's Christian Bezuidenhout, that's Matt Fitzpatrick, that's Pat Reed, who is probably the worst form of his career. If one of those guys gets it done this week, good for them. I'll move on to my Koba. But yeah, that is my Mito case. And I think this is a good spot for him. He stripes it. He's going to be in the fairway. And he's long. He's going to have wedges in. Everyone's going to have wedges in. So he'll have maybe one smaller wedge in. And if that Bermuda number keeps switching like his putting splits do every single week, and he can finally gain 1 week, look at this bad putting. If he can gain this 3.78 he did the 3M, if he can gain 0.72, which is Bermuda at the Wyndham, we can be in business. But yeah, we'll move on to my next play. And who is my next play? I went a little bit down the leaderboard and bet Seamus Power. Seamus Power is one of the most complete golfers in this entire field. He does it all good. He drives the ball very straight. He hits his irons pretty well, and he can putt it. He was third in my model. He was first in approach at the Shriners in this field. He's 70% driving accuracy, which is what you want this week. You want accurate drivers, guy who'll get, because you need to be in the fairway. And this is a short course. You're going to have a wedge in, really, no matter how far you hit it. You're going to have a wedge in. 70% driving accuracy, and Bermuda is his second best surface as we go up and look at his putting splits. Yeah, he's a gainer in all 4 categories, and if he can drive the ball that well, look at this. 22nd ranked on PGA Tour in driving accuracy. Awesome. Driving distance, he's 191st. Does not need to be long. Who's won here the last 2 seasons? Brian Gay and Brendan Todd. Approaching, he's a gainer in approach, and he's a gainer in putting. He's a complete golfer. Performed well at the Travelers, another short course. He won at Barbasol, which isn't really a good comp course, but I like Travelers as a little bit of a comp course. But yeah, Seamus is my second bet at 35-1, and then those are the 2 guys I got from the top. Then I have 7 more guys that are all bombs, and let's get into it. My next bet is actually Alex Smalley at 66-1. Why Alex Smalley? 2 words, launch angle. He has one of the lowest launch angles in this entire field. He launches his driver on average about 6.9 degrees, which is extremely low. And why do I care about that? This is one of the windiest, if not the most windiest courses on tour. And if he can, guys are going to be manipulating their shots no matter what they're doing. Last year, if you watch the broadcast or even go back and watch the highlights, Wyndham Clark lost in a playoff to Brian Gay. Wyndham Clark is a bomber, and almost every single shot he took, it was like a hold-off shot. He would go and stop his arms right here because he needed to keep the ball low out of the wind. So if Alex Smalley can just hit his stock shots, he's going to be at an advantage. Why else do I like him? He finished T29 at Wyndham when he shot a Sunday 66, which is another short Bermuda course. Not overthinking it. Have to be contrarian this week. We're not going to get an obvious community winner. We got a Brian Gay last year who I guarantee you no one bet. Maybe a few people. No one bet. But yeah, Alex Smalley, 66-1, short Bermuda. I think he will be at an advantage this week. Next bet, Mark Hubbard. He was 5th in my model, and every single week, you guys know, I make a short list of guys that I think have a good chance, like who I like before looking at any of the odds, before the odds are even out, like either Saturday or Sunday, I'll do it. And I made like 3 or 4 guys, and Mark Hubbard was on that list, and he's on that list. Plus, he modeled out. It wasn't really a second thought. I bet him. He is a very, very, very accurate driver. He drives the ball, hits 63% of the fairways, and he is a spike putter. He lost, let's see how much he lost last week. I'll pull him up because he's hitting the ball really good right now, tee to green. And if he can get his putter rolling, which he's not a bad putter by any means. He's a gainer on all four surfaces. Oh, I didn't mean to click that 6K. He's a gainer in all 4 surfaces, which Bermuda is his worst. But if he can get one of these spiked putting weeks, and I don't really expect him to gain off the tee because he hits the ball so short, but if he is in the fairway and can be a zero driver and gain putting, let these wedges do the work, we could be in with Mark Hubbard. I have him at 70-1 as my 4th play, and I have 5 more names. I didn't even pull that up. These were my Mark Hubbard notes I wanted to pull up, but it's okay. I explained it to you guys. My next play, Austin Eckroat. Andy, if you're listening, you're going to be happy. Austin Eckroat, I got him at 79-1. He has played 6 or 7 PGA Tour events, and he's made 3 cuts. 2 of the cuts he's made were Wyndham and Travelers. 2 short courses, positional courses where you're going to have wedges in. He's great with his wedges. He's a great ball striker. He gained 7.7 ball striking at Wyndham. Again, Wyndham comp course. Hasn't been getting that much. Short Bermuda, not overthinking it. I think Austin Eckroat has a chance. I like to be early on him. There's no one really on Austin Eckroat this week. Not many guys. So if we're early on Austin Eckroat, I'm talking too fast. That would be awesome. I would love to see an Austin Eckroat win. He's fun to watch too. He's a young kid from Oklahoma State. Okay, my 6th play. It's kind of a surprising number. Because he's one of the more not polished, but seasoned PGA Tour players is Matthew NeSmith, and one of the best pure iron players in the entire world, honestly. Matthew NeSmith also has a special spot in my heart because I had a full unit on him at 125-1 to win the to be first round leader at Waste Management is when I bet first round leaders, and I modeled my card a different way. I hit him at 125-1, and I was a very, very big payout. So yeah, Matthew NeSmith will always hold a special spot in my heart. But why do I like Matthew NeSmith? He was 2nd in approach at Shriners, 2nd in approach in the last year. This is all in this field, and he's 5th. He's 5th in approach on the entire tour. Let's dive into these Matthew NeSmith numbers real quick. Okay. The thing I like about Matthew NeSmith, obviously, his putter is scary. Like he doesn't gain on anything. Bermuda is not his worst surface, but look, when he gains on approach, he gains on approach. And if he can just be a zero putter, look, he was a zero putter, T14. If he can get to like spike putting week, if we can match this 3.09 with one of these 6 point whatever approach weeks, Matthew Neesmith could be a serious threat here. Look at these approach numbers. 5th on tour in approach. He's a great iron player, great wedge player. I think he's gonna be a short course. Doesn't have to bomb the ball. Find your way in the fairway, Matthew Neesmith. Get a wedge in, and hopefully we can have a spike putting week. And look, none of these guys on this lit that we're betting in this entire field are gonna look awesome on the numbers. You can't go with the chalky guys this week. It's gonna be random. That's why I went with a lot of bombs. That's why I went with a bigger 9-man card as opposed to a 3-man card last week. All right, next guy, Brian Stewart. Brian Stewart, I got him at 90-1. And Brian Stewart, honestly, when you dive into him, he's like made for this spot. He doesn't have the best course history, but he is made for this spot. He was 7th in my model, and look at these fairway numbers. 75% of fairways and 5th in driving accuracy. That's really, really, really good. His best surface is Bermuda. And again, I don't know if you guys remember, but I played him at Wyndham at like 300 something to 1. Played him at the Wyndham, and he was around like 2 through 4 shots back like all week. He was making a charge on Sunday, and he made like an 8 on hole 3. If he doesn't make that 8, he probably wins the tournament or at least makes it to the playoff. He was right there. He had one bad shot. And that was in a better field. If he could, I'm not worried about him finding fairways, and I'm not worried about him if he gained 9 strokes putting that week at Wyndham. He doesn't need to do that. He needs to find the fairways, hit some good wedges, and he's a great wedge player. This course is perfect for Brian Stewart, and you can play Brian Stewart at like 2 to 3 courses all year round. This is one of them. I'm going to take a shot at 90-1. I think he should be more in the 50 to 60 range. Okay, these last 2 bets, I had less than like 0.3 units of allocation left to return my 35. Just long shots. My 8th bet is John Pack. He is a young kid from Florida State. He's actually born in Jersey, and this is purely numbers based. I got him at 225 to 1, but the cool part about that is I could show you actually. I got him at 225 to 1 on a local, and let's look what he is priced on other books. Let me see if this is pulled up first. Here we go. Okay. John Pack. Let me show you what I got him at, again, listen, I got him at 225 to 1. And when you type his name in on the odds checker, he's anywhere from 120 to 180. And I found a 225 at a local. I'm going to take that. And why am I going to take that? He is on the he's a Korn Ferry Tour member via PGA Tour U, where he was the number 1 ranked player in the PGA Tour U. And look, I'm not making a case for John Pack. I think he's going to win this week. I'm betting the number. He's a young guy, and we're in for a surprise this week. I'll take my shot with a 225 number 1 ranked PGA Tour U guy. All right, my last bet is David Lingmerth, 270 to 1. He was 9th in my model. Coming from the Korn Ferry Tour, he's been a PGA Tour vet. He actually has 1 win. He won at the Memorial. I think it was 2015, and the year before he came 2nd. He beat Justin Rose in a playoff. But he's back in the PGA Tour via the Korn Ferry Tour, where he was 2nd in driving accuracy, and that's all I needed to hear. This is a driving accuracy course. You're in the fairway. You're going to have chances. I'll take my shot with the 270 to 1 bomb. And yeah, that's it. I'll run through the bets again. We have Mito 25 to 1, Seamus 35 to 1, Alex Smalley 66 to 1, Mark Hubbard 70 to 1, Austin Eckert 79, Matt Neesmith 80 to 1, Brian Stewart 90 to 1, John Pack 225 to 1, and David Lingmerth 270 to 1. All of those bets are set up to return 35 units while risking just about 5 units. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot a DM my way. But yeah, quick and easy show today. Those are my bets. Broke down the Bermuda Championship. And yeah, good luck this week. It should be fun.